Thank you, Laura. So when I was a kid, I was a troublemaker, plain and simple. I grew up in a family of 5 boys, and I was the second oldest. Growing up in a family of 5 boys, the most common phrase I heard was, "Your poor mother." And if only they knew the half of it. We all played organized sports. When we came home from organized sports, we played unorganized sports, which usually resulted in tears or injuries, and I was a common culprit. To give you an idea, my brother Matt had the tip of his finger sliced off halfway through his fingernail after a game of basketball. And to all of our surprise, it actually grew back. My brother Nick ended a basement hockey game with stitches just below his eye, and that resulted in a hospital visit. I also ended a basement hockey game with a stick to the mouth, and now still deal with a fake tooth to this day. When I wasn't playing either football, baseball, or hockey, I was getting sent to the principal's office for disrupting teachers, messing with other students, and causing fights. One time in 6th grade, I was suspended from school for getting into a physical fight with one of my friends at the time during gym class over a game of flag football. It would be fair to say I wasn't a teacher's pet. Teachers didn't like me, and a lot of times coaches didn't have patience for my hot head. When it came to hockey, I led team after team in penalty minutes, and throughout my career, never truly learned how to get a good grasp over my emotions. Due to my short temper, I was the king of retaliation, major penalties, and personal fouls. Coaches, teammates, and parents were all tired of my shenanigans, and I don't blame them. I never learned, and whether it was the time and effort that wasn't put into me, or I just simply didn't listen, nothing ever changed. Then came my 8th grade hockey coach, Coach Bob Kimball. Coach Kimball won 4 state championships growing up, played college hockey at Western Michigan University, played 5 years of semi-pro hockey where he was awarded the MVP in the 82-83 season. Coach Kimball was voted Coach of the Year by our organization for the 2011 to 2012 season. And the following year, I was lucky enough to play for him alongside his son, Mitch. By this time, Coach Kimball had been coaching for 30 years, so I guess you could say he was more than seasoned. He coached us how to play hard, to make good, non-turbulent passes, and most of all, he taught us to play physical hockey, which was exactly what I needed. Throughout my time playing with this team, we won 3 championships, one of which was the Silver Sticks International Tournament, which brought us to Ontario, Canada, for our chance to play against those north of the border. And we got whooped. But over a decade later, it's barely the actual gameplay that I remember. I remember the off-ice practices Coach had at his house, one of which included a dead mouse Coach caught with a trap and tossed at me while we were having a bonfire with a couple of teammates. I remember Coach picking me and one of my teammates up and taking us to a game when my parents couldn't make it, even though his son rode in another car. I remember him telling us to play like Marc Messier and Gorgar. Gorgar was an idea that he created in his head and transferred over to ours. It was the idea of playing physical and not being afraid to hit, which really just became one of my nicknames by the end of the season. To this day, I have a trophy in my closet at home which reads Gorgar of the Year. He also had this Midwestern accent, so he made Gorgar sound more like Gorgar. What I remember most of all was how he treated me, and that I finally had someone that appreciated my style of play, which was playing hard and hitting hard. After all the trouble I got into, after all the teachers that were tired of me, after all the coaches that wanted nothing to do with me, I finally had someone to resonate with. More importantly, someone who believed in me, and not that I deserved it, but it felt damn good. A feeling, a lot of the time, is something that cannot be described, and believing in yourself is often difficult when nobody else does. So sitting here writing this speech, I look back to the person I was at 13, 14 years old, and feeling that feeling of belief from the outside for the first time and what that did to me. It brought out the best in who I was, both as a player and a person, and sometimes that's all a troublemaking teenage kid needs. I haven't spoken to Coach in quite some time, so I don't really know what he's up to, but I came across this quote from him on the internet the other day about his coaching philosophy. It reads, "My objective is to teach both physical and mental hockey skills, hockey sense, and create cohesive team players. I emphasize fast, accurate passing systems and an aggressive style of hockey. My goal is to develop complete hockey players that can win and have fun as a team. I've had the pleasure of being around some great men, mentors, coaches, and friends throughout my life. So this speech is not to overshadow those who have helped me along the way. This is just the one that hit me the hardest. Thank you for believing in me, Coach.